Welcome back to Throwback Thursday. In this episode, I'm actually going over my library that I made about 5 years ago. On the image properties of this photo, it says Saturday, October 17th, 2015. So roughly about 5 years ago. So let's get into this really fast. I actually really enjoyed this mock because it was something different, more architectural than anything. I really went for the more, the grand scale of the entrance of a building. So in this photo, it actually shows the front entrance of the library, which I really enjoy because if you notice in the background, there's actually like a lot of light emitting from the top, from the second story, which I actually just bought these like LED light strips, like a 20-foot long light strip, and I placed that on the second level, and that gave off that kind of ominous feeling of there was actually like things going on inside. It's not expensive at all. You can get it for like $20, $30 maybe. It's pretty cheap on Amazon. But this is pretty much showing off the different colors of the LED lights that I'm able to get that amazing effect. In this second photo, it shows the warmth and the glow of this building. Say if it's like at midnight or something, very ominous feeling. Or it could be like on fire. Especially in the center, how I use that trans clear cylindrical 2x2 brick. It really does go well with this photo because it's actually like, you can see right through it. And it's actually emitting a light blue glow, which looks really nice. I'm not exactly sure what they're representing, but they're just structural support. This is a more edited dark photo, which the image quality is pretty bad because I had a crappy phone at the time. But it's showing more off like the road and the entrance towards the building. And I placed some Senate commandos in front of it to show off this is actually a Republic building. And it's kind of funny to see like a street and like a sidewalk next to a Star Wars building, because usually they don't use like ordinary streets like what we think of nowadays. But as you can tell, I actually did continue that trend of the handrail technique, which it's always great seeing handrail in Star Wars because usually they're not anywhere. So this is just an ordinary photo showing off the architecture in the front. As you can tell, it's not finished at all. If you look to this left side, there's actually like an overhang that's completely finished, and then to the right side it's not finished at all. I really like the color combination of this, how it's like black and white with combination of light tan, because it really does show the contrast between the light and dark, when the second level is the light and the bottom level is the dark. And with all these builds, I never placed any orders, so this is pretty much everything that I had on hand. I never try to purchase bricks depending on the build because I want to see what I can do on hand, and it always turns out really amazing. As you can tell, I also continued that glass technique of using the 1x2 trans clear bricks, which I've used for a long time, and I will still continue to use that technique. So let's go off to the next photo. So in this photo, it's actually showing off the side courtyard area, where it's supposed to be more grassy, nice put together. Then I built that up using Duplo, and then if you see if the facade area, I would say that's a little too much. I'll definitely take out some of that detail because that's way too much just for the front of a building. Kind of takes away from everything else. In this next photo, it's actually showing off the size of the sidewalk. It's actually pretty narrow for what it is, but I do like how I broke up that stud technique, 2x2 dark tan tiles, and then if you notice, I actually use those minifigure stands for the staircase, which I've been doing that for many years, ever since they came out. So this next photo actually shows off a different technique. I saw a while back on Instagram where this person actually used these bracket pieces, not brackets, bricks with studs on the sides, and made this kind of stair step technique. So in this next photo, it's taken before the other one because I didn't make the library, but it's showing off more of the street technique that I used, and I really do like that technique using the black bricks alongside with like white plates, the two center lines. But I also broke up that technique with some tiles in the center, so it gives that little offset effect, which looks really nice. And this next photo actually shows off what I was talking about. Well, not technically the whole street, but the majority of the street, what it looks like. That actually used a lot of bricks just for that little street right there. But it looks great though. I definitely will use that technique in 1313, but a lot more refined and a lot more dirty and grungy looking. I just think it's kind of funny how I put the two center lines, indicating that you can't pass, even though there's like flying cars and stuff. So it's like, why do they need streets in Star Wars when there's flying cars? So, and in this photo, it's showing off the same thing, but at a different angle. I was actually pretty surprised because this section of the road was like, it was a gray base plate and a half, I think. So it's pretty large in size. I do recommend you guys using that technique. I always went for more of a snot technique than using the ordinary dumb Lego street plate because it's so under detailed. And I always hate when I see people use that in like cities. This is the only way to go. Just use the snot technique for the road. That's the only way I can see it. This next photo shows off how long the street was from a certain scale. And off to the right, I use these slow pieces to show off just a side detail. So this photo is showing off more of the technique I used for the staircases, which I really like. And in this photo, I actually showed off the backside because I actually use a mirror to get the backside of the mock, which if you guys never used a mirror in a mock, it is absolutely stunning. You'll see in this next photo why that is. So if you notice, this is actually just replicated over and over again. And the longer this section you actually want to have a mirror on, the larger the size it looks. So with this, if you notice, like halfway through the mock, I actually do use a mirror right there, but at this angle it kind of looks seamless because it's so dark. So if you guys have any smaller mirrors, make sure you just have them on hand, so if you actually want to make something, you can just kind of like put that in the background to make the area look so much larger than it is. Like in this photo right here, it shows off, it was about like 2.5 gray base plates in length and 2 wide, I think. I never finished the interior or the exterior. I only just finished what you guys see right here. And in this photo, it's actually a panoramic of the whole mock. You can actually notice that this streak continued on for like the whole 2.5 gray base plates. Actually kind of looks like 3 gray base plates, which that's pretty good size mock for that. I actually think that used all my black bricks. If you guys actually have the AT-AT, that gives it a size of that mock because it's a relatively decent size set, and compared to that, it kind of looks really small. So that's about like 4 feet long. So in this photo, it's showing more of the architectural angles in the front section of the library to show off that different angles supporting the building. And in this photo, it shows off the interior of the building that I never got to. I made up the second story, but I did not build the first story. And it shows off the arches in the center right there. And this photo is more of a night photo. I utilized that LED light strip as well to give that more ominous glow. That actually wraps up this episode of Throwback Thursday. I really enjoyed this one because this was the second mock that I went more into like architecture than Star Wars in general, but it can be considered a Star Wars mock. There's more architectural side of Star Wars. I think I should start giving these mocks a grade comment as well. 1 being worst, 10 being the best. I think I would give this mock, my building techniques nowadays, what I've learned, I think it's like a 6 because this is a well-kept mock that I can continue using nowadays. These techniques aren't dated, and it's a very nice building, so I'd say 6 out of 10, 5 being average. So that wraps up this episode of Throwback Thursday. Have a great day and see you next time.